Hello class, once again we're finding ourselves in another video in reference to the website design or web design online course. In this particular video what we're going to do is cover over some HTML, what it is, how to embed videos within your website also to allow others to view. Now HTML is generally referred to as the hypertext markup language. It's a markup language specifically for creating websites, web pages, and web applications. You will also see inherently within it CSS, which is cascading style sheets, or JavaScript, or any other plethora number of languages to enhance the website design. But HTML itself was the beginning of creating web pages and websites. What you see here before you is some of the more common ones that you'll find. Specifically, in order to open up a new window, the target equals blank will do that. This one here is P for paragraph, ending paragraph. The actual link, a href, equals, and this is the link that you're going to be referenced to, and this is the ending of that a href or anchor, and this is what would be seen. So let's go ahead and look at a couple of these and see what they look like in action. So if I go into the back end of a WordPress or web server, you're normally seeing these as well, and I choose the text, I can actually put in specific HTML coding. You'll also note that there is already inherently some of these HTML commands to help you along. So this P stands for paragraph. This a href is beginning of the link. Within the double quotes is the actual link itself, or where it will take you to that page. The target equals blank is where we use to open up a new window. So whenever you go to a website, you see that little underscore link. Sometimes you'll click it and it just the whole page takes you to a new page, or when you click it, a brand new page comes up, keeping or refraining from going away from the initial website. That's what this does here, target equals blank. And within your ahref and anchor is what is being displayed. So if I look at it visually here, to create a website within a different color, that's the reason so being is because this is what's displayed to you, hiding behind the actual link or hyperlink that's going to. So basically that's kind of HTML in a nutshell. Let's look at a couple more of the examples here. An example of an underline and what it looks like. It's a piece style text decoration, specifically underline, and it's going to underline again within your brackets. So if we visually look at this, we see that indeed it does underline that for us. It's just a fancy way to be able to do that on display for the website. Let's look at another one. This one again is another link code. This is again another underline. This one's a different one. It's a removed underline. So in contrast, what we have here is we have decoration colon underline, and now we have text decoration colon none. And then we have our initial href, our link, the specific link that it goes to, and what's being displayed to us by that link. So visually, here we go again. It's a hyperlink, so it's a different color, and it is not underlined as opposed to the one before. As you're fully aware of, you can go on a search engine and you can actually go and find websites that are dedicated specifically for HTML coding. One such is the html.am, HTML codes. Within here it goes over everything you could possibly know about it. Another method that a lot of people do is they may be creating a website such as yourself for game reviews, and then they'll find other game review websites and they look at those specific articles and see how it is set up, how is the website designed. One of the ways that you could do that as an example is IGN. I found an article on here that's of interest, new Minecraft update ads. It has an embedded video in here, it has a lot of links going on here, It has some ads onto the left pane, some additional links on the right pane. But as an example, let's see what happens. How exactly do they embed this particular video? What you could do is you could do a right click on any of these web pages, regardless of where at online, and do a view page source. And what that will do is it'll bring you up the actual raw data of the behind the scenes of what that page looks like. Having said that, there's a lot of times where, I don't want to say encapsulation, but it might not show you exactly how that page is displayed. By security and other methods, it hides the HTML content. But on this one here, we see that initially it has the HTML language of English. The head, HTML in the head gives us information about the page itself. And then we can just kind of look through here and we see all these links. And these are all the Oculus HTML links that we've seen before. We kind of get an idea once we start looking at here, even comments that are placed within the web page itself, Facebook app links that are used, all of these particular ones here. You have to understand too, when somebody builds a website or web page, a lot of times they have different codes within, and it's based upon, are you opening this web page by a smartphone, an iPad, an actual computer, and even sometimes to the degree of what type of browser. Is an Internet Explorer, is an Internet Explorer 9 versus an Internet Explorer version 12? Is it Chrome? Is it Mozilla? Etc., etc. So we'll go ahead and scroll down even further on here. A fast way that you could do this is you see here, you note that as well as Xbox controller support sentences here, and right below it is the embedded video that we're kind of concerned or interested in. Do a Control F on top for a find and slap that in, and then that is exactly this sentence is what we see here right above our embedded video. Now that we have found it, that we see here this divided class, video embedded container as a video player here. So this would be our logic within this web page of how they're embedding it in, or at least have an idea or try to find where that source is. Again, this is just a quick overview, guys, but that's how you would kind of pilfer it through here. The hover link, here's another link specifically to this folder, the date published, exactly what it was on the article. Now another thing I want to show you too, for us guys, how would we be able to easily embed a video into our website or web page? On YouTube, on every one of the YouTube links that I've ever found, there is the share option. And that share option provides you a couple of methods in order to share the actual web page, the YouTube video itself. The share gives a provided link here. Of course, you can hit the social media icons and just do a share through it. But what we're interested in is the embedded. Now the embedded, once you copy it and place it into a more viewable deal here for us to check out. This is what it looks like. It's basically a little iframe, and this is our width and our height of the video view itself, and then the actual link to the video. This frame border provides you if it's a border or not around it, and allow full screen. You do want that in case they want to do that for you. So if we go back to our initial post here that we've been playing with here, and we want to go into text, then we would just paste in the iframe embedded video onto our text. If we look at it visually we'll see this come up as our YouTube, and that gives us an idea that it is posted in there correctly. Now just for grins, notice that it had videos width and height defaulted as this. You can actually go in and change these. Let's change it to 320 for example, and let's change this to 205. and it will actually change that same video to whatever width and height that you want it to be displayed on your web page. Some web pages you might want it larger or smaller depending on what you're attempting to share. Additionally, the frame border, as I mentioned before, it defaults to 0. If we actually put a 2 on there, it'll put a little border around that to give it a little more enhancement. It's up to you, but this is the point that you want to go in and you want to find some videos and stuff to share that somebody had provided. You can do it this way, and it'll be an easy way to share that onto your website. Another thing to note too, as I mentioned, some of these buttons up here on top, as you're going in and creating your web page itself, a lot of these WordPress things that have been put in place over the years have kind of taken out the element of having to go in and handwrite the HTML code specifically. That's where you have your bold, like for example, I want this bolded, I want this one here that's in italic, and I want this one here, maybe it's an underline. Control U will also do that. Control U. And then you can come back and look at the text and see where it actually placed those items. So I have my span here on this, and it's underlined, similar to what we've seen before. The EM is the emphasis on the is, or another way is bold. Strong is another deal that I've seen used for bold. Another method instead of strong, what you could do is let's put it totally here. You can do it as B for bold. I've seen it that way too. And that'll also bold it. There's just different ways of doing that. So again, this is just a quick overview of HTML, what it is and how you can utilize it within your WordPress, and also how to go into YouTube and grab videos and manipulate those as far as viewing it as well. Hope that helps out.